We just wrapped our State of DCA report where we took a complete tour around the park. We were shocked by the scene we found at Avengers Campus, did some Disneyland forward scouting, and were delighted by the good vibes. Join us on this State of DCA report. Beautiful day here. Finally, we got ourselves a really beautiful day. We've had a lot of bad weather for the past month or so. Been a lot of rain in these reports, rain in our construction reports, rain in our cute test of Pirates of the Caribbean. But we've got a great day ahead of us today. And I have to say, I'm expecting the crowds to be a little bit minimal today. I spent the morning at Disneyland doing construction updates, getting footage there, and it was the quietest that I've seen Disneyland in quite some time. But I was really, surprised. Now, getting here in DCA already, I'm feeling a significantly more pressure in the park on the streets, and I'm pretty sure that has to do with Lunar New Year. And thank goodness, Lunar New Year is great. Did you guys watch our video about Lunar New Year? Man, we had a good time. It's a great event, a great festival that they have here at DCA every January, and so we're gonna see some influence on that as we make our way around the park. But with that said, and without any further ado, let's get into this report. One of my favorite things to do here on Fresh Baked. I love walking around the parks and talking about what I see, what's happening, how things are going. It's what I live for. I live for walking down Hollywood Boulevard and saying, my gosh, that's a lot of people. For a January afternoon at about 3 o'clock as we walk down the street. Now we are off to a late start today on this report. Hi! It is already 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is going to be kind of a good news, bad news situation because we're going to get some beautiful light to shoot in, and that's always a good thing. I love shooting it in the twilight hour, of course, who doesn't? But we're going to get a lot of sunlight into this camera, and we're probably going to wind up finishing this report in the darkness, but never mind that. What's happening in the back lot? First stop, as usual, if we make a left at Carthay, is going to be the back lot, and Mike and Sully's To the Rescue, Monsters, Inc. I've got a bad feeling about this. Let's find out.
I don't know.
45 minutes, it says.
You guys coming in, but in the future, if it asks,
I guess the good news is that the queue is not completely full. I forget the math I did on this. I want to say 5 minutes per planter. Was it 5 minutes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planters total. If it's 5, that's 30. Inside is like 5 minutes tops. That's post mix, so you don't have to worry about lightning lane there. So maybe it's a little more than 5, because that seems a little light. But I could have sworn that was what we tested last time we were in Monsters, Inc. Maybe 7 minutes per, but they weren't using the last 2. So we're looking at just 4 planters at 7 minutes is 28 plus 5 inside 33. You're still getting a break. Not 45 minutes, I guess, is the point I'm trying to make. It's got to be Lunar New Year, right? Because this is busier, literally busier than I experienced just today, earlier, at Disneyland. Although I was there in the, before 1 o'clock. Oh, they got Jerry the Fox over here. He's selling his popsicles. If you get that reference, you've been watching Fresh Baked for a long time. There goes the red car trolley. We talked about this in our last update, that they're doing some kind of work here at the Hyperion Theater, although we still have not been able to learn or discern what that work is. Best as I can tell, it's just a paint and polish or a pressure wash on the facade. In our last update, it was just scaffold, no scrim. since then they have added that scrim. I mean, some days she looks really pretty, doesn't she? That's Mission Breakout. And we're looking at 60 minutes. Standby. And a fairly strong light. Oh my gosh, there's a switchback out here. Wow. And there's, oh my gosh. Okay, so there's a switchback out here, and that switchback is not moving. I'm seeing a lot of standing in the lightning lane queue. That is very, very bad. One thing that I like to try to do when I'm doing these reports is mix in a little bit of intelligence, a little bit of how-to. One thing that you can do when trying to figure out if you're going to make that decision to get in that queue is to check and see how many elevators are operating inside that building. Or gantry lifts, if you will. But there's 3, right? There's one on the left, one in the middle, and one on the right. You can kind of see all 3 right here. The one in the middle is the easiest one to see, but you're just kind of stand here for a minute and watch the doors. You see the door open for that one over there. So that's a working gantry lift. And we just wait a few more seconds. Now that we know that one's running, we can slide to the right. There's number one on the left just open. Now it's just a question of whether or not the middle gantry lift is running. Not looking good so far. If we see the right one open up again before the middle, that's a bad sign. We'll go back to the left. If the right opens up before the middle does, then it's probably that the middle one is down, and that would go towards why the queue is so long right now. Did I already miss it? Did it already open? I feel like nothing's happening. Oh, there it goes. There goes the middle. So that's all 3 gantry lifts are going. That's a good sign for standby. That means that things are going to keep moving. It also means that 60 minutes is just, it's busy. It's busy, and there's a lot of folks in lightning lane. Standby though back here doesn't look too bad. They're not using a lot of the queue back there, and obviously they're not using this extended part. I would bet that they were not long ago, but they have recently closed this down. It wouldn't surprise me if this was under 50 now. By the way, that also reminds me, I spoke with a cast member who reminded me that while there are 3 elevators, there's 2 vehicles per elevator. There's actually 6 total cars. So, and he said that they're running 5 right now out of 6, which isn't bad. But it, that would account for some of the delay here. But you can at least check, as I mentioned, those elevators to make sure that all 3 are working. That gives you a better chance. If one of those elevators is not working, I mean, now you're down 2 at least. You're down to 4 at best. Now Avengers Campus. I need to come back here and do another Avengers Campus day. I feel like it's been a while since I've committed a bunch of time here. I've done a couple of those where I've spent the whole afternoon, here and doing, get some food at Pim's, get something to drink, try some beer or something here at the tasting lab. Although there's nobody here right now. The Iron Man meet and greet right here is fantastic. It's probably the most convincing meet and greet that they do in terms of, I don't know if I'm talking to a pre-recorded message or a human in there. I just don't know, man. It's so good. I might even ride Web Slingers again, even though it's not my favorite ride. Let's check in on what that one's doing. Looks like it's posted presently at 50 minutes. And it looks like it's all of that 50 minutes. This is the back of the queue right here. I mean, we haven't gotten very far in there. Okay, hold on. I didn't look left yet, but okay, so that doesn't look great right here. Standby is very deep and looks very sticky in there. It's a long queue. They're not using all this, but check out Lightning Lane. Look at that. That's sun again. Let me see if I can hide that. I don't think I have ever seen except for maybe when the attraction first opened. I don't think I've ever seen Lightning Lane this backed up. There is no way that Standby can compete with that. This is intense. Look at that. Look. Look. It's still going. Oh my God. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Oh my gosh. Guys, you've got to check. You've got to check. If you have interest in going on Web Slingers or really any attraction, please, you've got to check Lightning Lane first. Don't get in that queue like those folks are doing right now, getting that standby queue that says 50 minutes. There is no way on this earth that that standby is 50 minutes. That's an hour and a half. if that Lightning Lane stays at this condition, there's no way those folks are getting through that queue in 50 minutes. This is incredible. It's the same. It's like the same thing we saw in Mission Breakout. Very deep. It's wild. Lightning Lane at DCA is just a different animal than it is at Disneyland. It's kind of like Knott's Berry Farm. It's almost required here. It's almost necessary that you get Lightning Lane at DCA because there's so few attractions and all of the good ones are on Lightning Lane. So it's kind of like you either do everything or you do nothing. It's all or nothing here. You can't, I don't know how you get anything done here if you're trying to do as many rides as possible. I don't know how you get anything done here because that's excruciating. Having to deal with that as a standby guest only on every single attraction. We're 2 for 2 right now. I mean, God only knows what standby looks like at Radiator Springs right now. Although that's not Genie Plus, that's individual Lightning Lane. But that's amazing. I am literally in a state of shock right now over the State of DCA today as I find it in this State of DCA report. That's new. I've never seen him
to tag me on your video.
go up
Hashtag
that
Amazing
way.
Spider-Man.
I was looking over here for him, and then I heard and he was climbing up the wall. Have they changed the bit? There he is.
Hey everyone, looking good down there. Wow, this is a friendly neighborhood. Welcome to Avengers Campus. Hey, what's going on, guys? Oh, me? Ah, you know, just spider stuff. Okay, time to run some tests.
Spider-Man,
Oh, hey, Sharon.
shall we conduct an altitude test?
Yeah, I guess I should do some work.
Always good to have the data.
On my way. Just need to find a clear path for something to swing from. Oh yeah, it's go time. Field testing, here I come. Clear the runway. Spider-Man is cleared for takeoff. Wow! This might hurt.
That looked great. That looked great.
I'm okay. The roof broke my fall. Has some bones, maybe. Hey down there! Hang on! Here we go! I bet this looks cool!
I feel like I missed something. I thought he came out. I thought he came out of the backstage right there. And then did a little meet and greet. It's been a while since I've seen this show, so I don't know if I have I'm not up to speed. And that, by the way, also seemed like a shorter show. I feel like we maybe got half the show that we used to get. And now we will dramatically leave Avengers Campus with that music. And we can see that, you know, Lunar New Year is happening, bamboo blessings. We got some cold brew there for the day. Red Dragon Spice Traders. We got the red hot chicken and the rice from Spice Traders. I love Lunar New Year. There we go. That's better. I like that music a lot better. I mean, I like Avengers music, but only when I'm watching Avengers movies. I don't like getting hit over the head with it when I'm at the park. I have to be honest and say. I would much rather listen to this. Yeah, this is definitely, this is Lunar New Year crowds that we're feeling in here today. I don't think this is people just saying, oh my gosh, I love DCA. Although there is an element to that. Cars Land is next. Maders is up and running. Mater says 20 minutes. I suppose it could be. Last time we were here, this was empty. But that's maybe a 20, as long as they've got both sides running, which is usually the case. But that's quite a lot of people in this queue. This is actually a busy day for Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. 20 minutes is optimistic but possible. State of DCA is that it's hopping. It's hopping here. This is wild, man. I'm loving it. Let's walk through the cozy cones. We don't ever make this left during our State of DCA reports. Lightning McQueen is out. Good shot. I love seeing people get excited about meet and greets like that. I don't know if I picked that up or not, but they were really happy to have got their picture taken with Lightning McQueen. And I'm having difficulty making my way through the cozy cones right now. Wow. Do they still do the popcorn that tastes like pickles? That was something that they had when this land first opened. That was the first thing that me and little Ninja Jr. tried.
Whoa, look at this.
But it looks like, oh, they do. They still have flavors. You can get butter, white cheddar, and dill pickle. Or a loaded fried tamale. Wow. It looks like an elote, but it's a fried tamale. I'm sorry about the light. There's nothing I can do here. It's getting bisected by that shadow. I can't do anything about it. I might have to try that. Is that part of their regular menu? I guess we gotta go check Radiator Springs Racers next. It's just down the way on Route 66 past Cross Street. Straight ahead, the sign says, then we'll turn right. I have very negative expectations about what standby might look like given what we've seen so far. I'm gonna guess 90 minutes. I mean, at least we're not seeing the Lightning Lane queue out here. I have seen Lightning Lane come out here and mix with the guests out on Route 66. Wow, that is shocking. I continue to be surprised by the things that I find on these State of DCA reports. 60 minutes, that's pretty standard. That's kind of nothing. Are they not selling Lightning Lane today? Well, that's also confusing because that's the Lightning Lane queue right there. That's a pretty long Lightning Lane queue. That's an exceptionally long Lightning Lane queue. It's not, as I mentioned, out here like we have seen in the past, but that's no discount either. And the back of the queue, the back of standby is not too bad. It's coming out here near the threshold, but at least it's not out here in the bullpen, which the last few times I've done my recon sessions out here, I've been in that bullpen back there. You haven't lived until you've waited 90 minutes in a Radiator Springs queue that goes all the way out to that bullpen. You haven't done Disneyland yet unless you've done that. You also haven't been to Disneyland if you've arrived at Indiana Jones and it's closed. And I don't have another one right now. That leaves Luigi's Rollickin Roadsters. We can't see the queue, so I can't guess. But I can see guests out here, which is already bad. $30 minutes. But if you see guests out here, oh my, anywhere in this section, anywhere but inside the second section back there, that's not a queue that you want to get in. Well, relatively speaking, anyway. I mean, it's not like 30 minutes is a long time compared to some of the other wait times you might find out here at DCA, but it's long for Luigi's. The sun is starting to set on this day already, man. It's going behind. Well, I don't know what that ridge is called. I know what that ridge is called. That's the Cadillac Ridge. Actually, they can't call it that. It's some other kind of ridge now. But I don't know what they call this, something or other. But yeah, it's starting to get, oh, here we go. Radiator Springs, man. I have no commentary. I just love walking through San Fransokyo. I especially love going through this bridge. That looks great. That is what they say at the old Walt Disney offices. This bridge is a weenie. Which is a good thing. It being a weenie. It's a good thing. There are folks out there who don't like San Fransokyo. They think it's the worst thing that Disney's ever done. And I could not disagree with that sentiment more. I mean, it's not perfection. It's not something that they could have done better if they built something from the ground up. But with what they had to work with and what they were trying to do, I think they did great. I think it's great. So this is view. Let's just chill on this for a minute. Actually, we're gonna have, you know what? Let's do that now. And that is the tip board. We're gonna look at the tip board. That's the wrong park. You guys can listen to me, look at the tip board, and listen to the sounds of screaming on the Incredicoaster. Golden Zephyr, 5 minutes. Goofy Sky School, 25. That seems kind of low. Return time in about an hour and a half. Guardians, it did go down to 45. We thought 50 might be high. Return time in an hour. Incredicoaster is 20. Okay, so maybe the fever has gone down a bit. I don't know, because what I've been seeing since we went by Web Slingers is a more normal crowd. Incredicoaster at 20 minutes with a return time of 30 for Genie Plus. Little Mermaid 10 minutes. I'm still waiting for the really dreadful return times or standby wait times for Little Mermaid, but it seems to be holding its own against Genie Plus. By the way, I can tell you real quick, I've been watching Pirates, the tip board as well today. I walked by today during the construction update, and it was a 15-minute wait at about 10:30 in the morning. I checked back at 1 o'clock, and it was 25, and I checked back at 4 o'clock, and it was 20. I think, if I have that right. I'm going off memory. So Genie Plus is not killing Pirates or Little Mermaid so far. Mater's Junkyard Jamboree is down to 10. Oh, and then Luigi's is at 40. We just left that one. Monsters is at 40. Now, yeah, there's a situation where Lightning Lane has permanently killed Monsters. And Radiator Springs is still an hour. And Lightning Lane is coming back now. Pretty standard. 40 minutes for Saurin. Return time. So, man, it's so weird how we see these drastic situations with Lightning Lane, but then I look at the tip board and it just does not reconcile. Toy Story, 45. Return time in about 2 hours. That's actually kind of light for Toy Story. Web Slingers, 45. Return time, hour and a half. And there you go. That's it. I mean, look at it. Doesn't it look great? It looks great. And so does that the I don't know what you call that, like the fish kite thing back there. What do they call those things? Is that a turbine? That's a wind turbine, isn't it? I don't know. It looks. I love it. I love it. Am I wrong? Am I the crazy one? I mean, I know I drink a little bit of Disney Kool-Aid. Not a lot, but a little bit of Disney Kool-Aid. Lampy. Good to see Lampy still mobile up there. Hey guys. I'm gonna have me a Pixar Pier day one of these days too. Do all the food and all the rides, right? Lamplight. Oh, we definitely would get a treat at the adorable snowman. The Pixar Pier Parfait, probably my favorite treat in the entire Disneyland Resort, and it's been a minute since I've had one. And there's no waiting right now. That's pretty rare, even on a January day. Definitely would ride the Incredicoaster and marvel at the architecture. Mid-century modern, looks a lot like Din Tai Fung, doesn't it? Oh, there we go. Dash is about to take off.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Pixar Pier's a fun time. I think I've said this before. Every time I come back here, I'm like, you know, I really do enjoy this. This is really nice. This is really great. It's a different kind of experience. DCA in general, it's a good time. Incredicoaster looks light. It said 20 when we looked. That would have been light by itself, but even that, I'd be shocked if this was even 20. Do we do this again? I know I did this last time, but do we do it again?
Hey girl, wait for us. Let them pass.
No, not today. But we are going to come over here and check out Lightning Lane, which is not at all full. Barely anybody in this queue at all right now. It's 4:45 right now. We'll come back in a few minutes after checking out Toy Story and possibly the Fun Wheel, and then we'll see where the back of the queue is in relation to where it is now, and find out if it's 20 minutes. My bet is that it's probably about 10. Why does that music sound spooky? What Pixar music is that? We're in Toy Story neighborhood. That's got to be Toy Story music, right? Or is that Incredibles music? Are we in the Incredibles neighborhood? I don't know. No, we're still in. Now we're in Toy Story neighborhood. All right, 45 minutes for Toy Story right now, Midway Mania. And it's going to be all of that. Queue poking out here. That's not a good sign. Plus you got a bit of a stand or a backup here at Lightning Lane as well. So this is not a queue that I would get in right now. Pixar Pal-A-Round. It's been a minute since I've enjoyed this attraction as well. I keep meaning to check this one out. Maybe today's the day. I have Grandpa with me. Oh no, today is not the day. 30 minutes for non-swinging. It does say 15 for swinging, but that's not really my cup of tea. That's short though. I mean, that could be 15 for swinging, and that's actually not 30 for non-swinging. I don't know, I may have to check that out. Well, I did come back after checking out Pixar Pal-A-Round. Back in the queue, as expected, got into the ride vehicles in 10 minutes. It was just a 10-minute wait. I did it. I went ahead and got in non-swinging. Hey guys! I've been looking forward to this for a while because I got Grandpa with me, and we're going to get some footage out there, hopefully, of the backstage areas behind Mission Breakout. I forget how to do this. It's been a while since I filmed with Grandpa on. I used to do this all the time. We filmed the construction of Avengers Campus this way for a year, or no, more than that even. So what am I supposed to do? I forget what I'm supposed to do. Where do I go? There it is. I want to see if there's any kind of activity back there. I think we're on the loop, so I won't be able to stop. We'll get on the next rotation. For now, we can look at the crowds down there. Look at Lunar New Year crowds down there in the parade corridor. You know, this reminds me, we just did a news video on this channel where we're talking about the Disneyland Forward update. We just had a meeting with the City Council on Tuesday. Check out that video. It's the $2 billion video. They made a promise of a $2 billion investment for Disneyland Forward over the next 10 years. Long story short, it's not a lot of money. Not near enough to build Disneyland Forward, but sitting here on this Pixar Pal-A-Round, this is where we would film. I want them to get this job so I can film it. This is where we would film. Over my shoulder.
Friendly reminder to all my pals on board for your safety
is the
and
Simba
keep
parking
our
lot where
roads clean as
the
possible.
DCA expansion would go.
Absolutely.
There it is, right there. That's the Pixar Place Hotel, and that's the Simba parking lot. And you could build. That's about 26, if I recall, 27 acres. You could build 2 lands in that space. You know, basically two galaxies edges. I don't know how to pluralize galaxy's edge. You could build 2 Batus, or maybe 2 Tomorrowlands or something like that, at least. Or you could build, 3 smaller lands maybe. But and if I recall, the concept art also was sending some of that construction behind Pixar Place Hotel into the downtown Disney area. I never really got into that. We never talked about that, but one of these days I'm going to have to walk around. Now that it's in the news again, I might do a walk around and sort of try to, we'll pay for parking down there and see if we can't plot where things might be. For now, I'm going to flip around and see what I can see backstage. There's a big pillar in my way. Scooch. Okay, so there's Mission Breakout. There's Luigi's. You can't really, okay, so we got to go past that. There we go, that's the area. That's where we're looking for activity. Movement of some kind to see. I'm looking to see if they're getting ready to build another, the e-ticket, which I don't think they are, but I just wanted to kind of get a baseline for how things look now compared to how they might look if anything changes. But it's difficult to see anything now that they put that building right there that goes behind Luigi's. That's a cast member building. They built that pre-COVID. They finished it pre-COVID. Or actually, I think they wrapped it up right as we were coming out of COVID, if I recall. But I don't see much there to observe on this trip. Meanwhile, I don't know if you can hear it, but there is the Lunar New Year procession. How delightful. They should be coming out of the drop right there. Oh, there they go. Oh, we're gonna get blocked. Oh, how fun though. Oh, I love going to Disneyland, man. That's so great. Well, that was a delightful little diversion there, riding the Pixar Pal-A-Round, and I guess we'll resume our normal show here. I don't get the opportunity to mock the emotional whirlwind queue for being exactly the same every single time we do this because it's closed right now for a refurb. So there, it's not running. There's a scrim up, but you can't really tell what they're doing in there. I have no idea. The sun has set, the lights are on, lovely time of day to be here. We were about to walk through Paradise Garden, but I forgot that the Lunar New Year procession is still happening.
And the brother dances are two of Mushu's favorite ancient art forms. They represent beauty, grace, and delicacy.
In the interest of trying to get things done here before the sun completely sets on our evening, we'll skip to the end of the procession, which, by the way, we're going to have to wait a little bit still because we got to go over there to Goofy Sky School, don't we? No doubt this will probably affect standby wait times right now. The queue might be a little light, but a bunch of people are going to drift from this crowd into Goofy Sky School. The time to be in Goofy's queue was about 10 minutes ago. I made my way through that crowd to find the back of the queue, which looks to be right here. That's a very long queue. The posted wait time, I didn't get to shoot it because of the crowd, but the posted wait time is 25. There is no earthly way that this is 25 minutes. This is they've already felt the effects of the post-procession crowd. That's probably 40, 45 with the back of the queue there, plus Lightning Lane. A lot of people drifted in from the procession into the Lightning Lane queue here. I'm actually going to stand by here for a minute and watch this happen in real time, watch this queue develop, because you don't often get a chance to do that. This is an example of what happens post-show. And it's only been about 2 minutes since I last looked, and the queue has not moved forward much at all, but it's obviously grown in the back. It's now about ready to make that U-turn right there. Meanwhile, even Lightning Lane looks to be a little sticky at the moment. Oh my, wait. The back. Boy, look at. It is now, the back of the queue was about to fill. Where was it? It was up there by the tree right there when we first got here about 4 minutes ago. It's about to fill both those switchbacks, and it's going to stick out back here pretty soon. And if this keeps up, they're going to have to get out here into the garden. They're going to have to push this out into the garden. Oh my. And this has now been I don't know if you guys can hear that. I could barely hear it. It's been 5 minutes. He just said your wait time is going to be a little longer than anticipated. Let's go look at the board. It was 25 when I got here. Oh, there it is. Boom. Boom. We're just watching it happen in real time. 40 minutes. This is all pure procession. This is the Lunar New Year procession. The show's over, and anybody in that area that want to get on a ride real quick, they see that 25-minute queue and they're like, now's our time. Well, it's not anymore. You missed it. You have to be in the queue 10 minutes before the procession ends if you want to really get a good deal. And now that they have updated the board, the standby, to 40 minutes, it has significantly reduced the demand for this attraction. People are not streaming into the queue. That plus the procession situation, there's hardly anybody getting in the queue now. So it'll take about, 30 or 40 minutes. The Lightning Lane queue will start to dissipate, and then they'll start to get to work on the standby queue. If I were to come back here in about 30, 45 minutes, I would expect to find the standby queue back to where it was when we first got here, maybe even shorter. But we can't stay here for 30 or 45 more minutes. We got to keep moving. Golden Zephyr. There's a few people in there. It's about a 15-minute wait. Everybody's enjoying longevity noodles. Oh my gosh. Here's a bit of a queue at Little Mermaid. Standby is at 20 minutes. There's a bit of a build up there for Lightning Lane. The standby's out here for 20 minutes. That's still not bad. It's not a worst case scenario. They're not using any of the queue back there hardly. It's just this one long switchback right there, it looks like. Maybe a little bit going in that direction. But 20 minutes is acceptable. It is probably not even that, as is often the case. Let's just vibe out now on this Lunar New Year.
It's not a competition. You guys know what to do.
Awesome. You know, there was a time, the very first Lunar New Year I ever went to at DCA, in the very infancy of Fresh Baked, the entirety of the event was right here on this street. This was all of it. They had the lanterns up, and they had some ODB carts out here. You could get some bao or some buns. I think it was just buns. They weren't doing bao yet.
1 mile.
And this was it. This was all there was. Looks like Mei Mei and Ming are doing their thing. We met them on Tuesday also. They're great. Ming is fantastic. Ming is great. I love Ming. The queue's not bad, actually. That's the back of the queue right there. Unless they're it could be that they've closed it, so people aren't getting in line. They're going to probably, that's the back of it. I'm just saying they're going to take a break. As we make our way down Grizzly Peak Trail back here, I didn't get to finish my thoughts while we were on the Pixar Pal-A-Round about the news of the $2 billion commitment to development here at Disneyland. Capital expenditures, that's what we didn't really get into it. We touched on it a little bit in that video, the news video, but I really hope, I very, very much hope that they prioritize DCA over Disneyland. If this thing goes forward, which I'm still dubious on that, if this thing goes forward, and they do it in stages, they're saying a 30-year plan, so that's going to have to be stages. I really hope that they do prioritize DCA, because this park needs more. It's the same price. I don't know how you justify that. I honestly don't. Unless you think that Disneyland is underpriced, but let's just say, for argument's sake, that Disneyland is the correct price, then DCA is incredibly overpriced compared. The two parks do not compare. It just in every metric, in every measurable number of attractions, quality of attractions, the feel you get here, the magic that's available, the food. That's the only thing DCA has on Disneyland, really. It's the food is better here. And they have more events like this, the food and wine festivals. But otherwise, it just doesn't compare, and yet it's the same price. It ain't right, and I think they need to fix it, and they need to fix it. Hopefully they do the right thing, and they make more here at DCA. I mean, and they got to do it soon. I don't know where or how. There's really, I mean, there's so limited space here to develop. You've basically got, you know, the cinema parking lot, what we just saw from the Pixar Pal-A-Round. That's basically it. I mean, you could, I would be fine, to be honest. I would be fine if they also made the downtown Disney lot, which is set aside for Disneyland per the concept art for Disneyland Forward. They set that aside for Disneyland. But if they could find a way to connect that to DCA, I'd be more than happy with that. You need significantly more to do here at DCA for the price. We're at Saurin. This is back at the Lightning Lane queue. Not too bad at all. Standby doesn't look too bad either. I would predict something light. And yeah, I can see 35 minutes. That's about right. As long as this stays the way it is, you're in good shape here. You're in good shape with that queue at 35 minutes. I'm kind of bummed we're leaving now at this point. I'm kind of bummed. I've been here for a while. I'm going on about, I don't know, 8 or 10 hours, it seems like, which is a long day for me. I don't typically do days longer than 5 or 6 hours when I'm at the park. So, but now I don't want to, I feel like I've got a second wind, man. I had a lot of fun here today at DCA. Good times. I love doing these reports, man. I just love State of reports. I love getting the vibes of parks and just seeing what's up, what's happening, where things are going. Feels great. I love it because especially when it's busy, there's a lot of good energy like there is often these days in the parks. Disneyland folks are a hardy bunch, man. I love them. I love you guys. I love it. But that's it. That's our show for today. If you enjoyed the show and want to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. Otherwise, you can follow us on Instagram at _freshbaked, on Twitter at freshbakedisney, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at freshbakedisney. If you like, oh, I did it again. I keep doing that. I got used to this. I love you guys. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.
It's like an